But what it does do is remove a layer of insulation that governments rely on. It forces political decisions to be enacted in the open with visible resistance, rather than disappearing into supply chains and contracts. There's a reason the language around this action keeps returning to barriers rather than blocks. A barrier doesn't have to be absolute to be effective. It just has to slow things down and complicate them and make them harder to ignore. That's exactly what coordinated dock worker refusal does, isn't it? So the longer this goes on, the more obvious another problem becomes. That if governments insist on pushing arms through civilian infrastructure against the will of the workforce, they are conceding that consent no longer underpins their authority. And at that point, power has to be exercised through compulsion. There's no other way of doing it. Compulsion is expensive, both politically and materially, and it scales badly across borders, and voters will remember at the ballot box next time around, especially in these port cities. What can't be undone is the knowledge that this is possible. Dock workers have shown that they can coordinate across countries. They've done it before. They're doing it at the largest scale ever now, or are about to, targeting specific aspects of the war economy and force governments into uncomfortable choices. That knowledge doesn't belong to any one union or campaign anymore. It's out there. The unavoidable consequence of all of this is the foreign policy has become harder to carry out quietly. The irreversible consequences that organised refusal at choke points has been normalised, and the indefensible position now is to claim that war can be waged through civilian infrastructure without asking the people who run it to cooperate. Israel's war effort has collided with organised labour, and the collision hasn't produced a dramatic explosion, because the press are trying to downplay it or ignore it.